Okay, let's make sure that I've got all my techie stuff on and that everyone can hear me. Yep. Okay, awesome. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. I am so happy to be back on my group with all of you guys. Thank you so much for holding space for each other. I've been very focused on a lot of creative aspects of my work, and so I haven't been here as much, but here I am taking these trainings on again because I have gotten so many questions from so many different people about all kinds of design challenges, right? And so welcome to these trainings. I am going to be here every Tuesday again at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll always leave the replays for you guys to see later. So if you're here, let me know that you're here. Say hello. I know knowing that you're listening to what I have to share, and I love to just say hello to you and check in about where you are with your home, with your sacred spaces. So make sure you say hello, whether you're watching right now or watching later. For those of you who are brand new, welcome. My name is Paula Agudelo. I also, you may have noticed if you've been following me, changed my name back to my maiden name. And that might be a little weird for a bit because I haven't said that name for a long time, but this is me, Paula Agudelo. You could call me Paula A, it's easy. And I'm just really excited to show up in this new remodeled me with this new vibration of my name and this new plan and this new design concept for my life and for my business and for what I want to share with the world. My main focus in teaching these trainings and in helping women is to help them align themselves, their interior with their exterior, creating a sacred home. So I talk a lot about what it is that I do in many different aspects. You'll hear me talk about interior design from a very decor, remodeling, material oriented kind of a way, but then you'll also really hear me talk about interior design in terms of a spiritual practice, whatever that looks like for you, whatever religion, whatever background, whatever denomination, because I really strongly believe that your home is a reflection of you. Your home is simply a mirror of who you are within. And most of us, or at least most of my clients, often struggle with, my home does not reflect who I am. Like, I'm so much better than this. I'm so much better than the way my house looks. But for some reason, there's all these different pieces that keep us stuck in this inability to get this big design dream vision we have for our homes to become our reality. So that's what I want to share with you today, and I have so many different tips. I was trying to consolidate this into a 5 tips to blah blah, but it's so hard because there's so many. But I did choose the very best and the ones that I think will get you the most transformation the quickest. And these tips I'm about to share with you as far as making your design vision a reality is not about a cookie cutter sort of a way to get there. It's also not about a big design necessarily. It could be anything from you want to redecorate your office and you want to redecorate your dining room to you want to gut down your kitchen and your bathroom and you want to, take on that big of a project. It doesn't matter which of those extremes you might be in. What matters is that the clients that I work with all struggle with, how do I make this happen? How do I actually see these images that I love and translate it into the reality of my life, of my space, and of my budget, right? Nobody likes to talk about budget, but we are going to talk a little bit about budget because it's super important to be realistic about it. So there's a few different things that I want to start with in terms of creating those rooms and really making that design a reality. And the first step for that is, what is your intention? You'll also hear me talk a ton about intention, and I don't just mean intention in the way that you want the space to look. I'm talking about intention as far as, how do you want to feel in the space? A lot of times when I work with clients who've worked with designers before, or maybe they're brand new to the interior design world, they'll be like very confused about that question. You know, they'll be like, what does that have to do with anything? What do you mean, how do I want my room to feel? And my job is to walk them through this process. And in fact, in my signature program, SIA, Sacred Interiors Academy, where I help women align themselves with their homes, right? And design their sacred spaces from the inside out. In there, I work really deep with creating intentions in terms of, what do you want for your life? So we go much, much deeper in the Academy Transformational Program. But for the sake of this video, and for the sake of practicality, your intention can be as simple as, I want to feel rested in this room. I want to feel focused in this room. I want to feel productive, excited, active, joyful, sleepy, awake. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel committed. Whatever the real feeling behind what it is that you're trying to accomplish in this room really is, that's where we need to start. Because colors and textures and lighting all play a big part in how you feel in a space, right? There's so much research that shows that people's state of mind and their mood is highly connected to what spaces they're in, right? So if you're in a space that feels chaotic, that is cluttered, that maybe it's too colorful, like the colors don't go and they all clash or whatever, it's really anxiety producing, and it can be really it can make them really restless. All kinds of things, right? Children behave differently in a space that's neat and orderly versus a space that's chaotic. I mean, our environments determine so much of our mindset and determine so much of how we feel in our body and even physically. So this is a call for you to understand that when you get that urge to decorate a room, or when you get the urge to design your home, it goes deeper than it just looking pretty for social media or copying a magazine catalog from, I don't know, Serena and Lily, which I love, or anything like that. It goes deeper into, what are you trying to create here? How do you want to feel in your own home? How do you want your spouse, your partner, your friends, your children, even your pets to feel? And then you become an active participant in co-creating that life you want through the mindfulness and the care that you take in selecting these pieces that will also make the room look beautiful, look, whatever you're trying to create, vibrant, peaceful, happy, whatever. So step number 1 to make your design vision a reality is, be very clear of what you want and how you want to feel in the space. What is your intention? And with that intention also goes the function of the room. You want to work in that space, you want to sleep, you want to read. This space is only for meditation. This space is only for lounging, for watching TV. The functions of the space also really need to be clear from the get-go. And if you have, like most people nowadays, open spaces where different spaces in different rooms serve multiple purposes, then you want to make sure you have a list of all those purposes for your room. That way, when you create furniture layouts or vignettes or whatever it is that you use to decorate or design their space, you want to be able to create all those little corners and sort of create anchoring spaces where you are designating those specific functions to the room. So that's step number 1. You guys with me? Let me know that you're following if you're here so that I know you're hearing me, and you're getting it. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, whether you do it here or just send me a private message. Either way works. Number 2, and this is also one part where people get caught up for years. And I'm not exaggerating when I say years. And that is dream big and pin away, meaning go on your Pinterest board, create a board, and dream really, really big. What happens with this though is that most people pin and pin and pin and pin images they like, but they don't know why they like them, and they also don't put an end to how many of these images they're going to select. And this is really key, and I have seen this structure work really, really well with myself and with my clients, because it makes me think of like when you get a professional photo shoot, if any of you guys have done that, like a family photo shoot or something, and the photographer is like great and amazing, and she says, okay, you know, you've paid however much for a package, but you only get 10 edited images, right? And any other images are extra. Well, usually most people have a hard time choosing those images, right? Because if the pictures are really good, you want all of them, and it's like hard to decide on only 10. But it's so important when you get to do that, because you get to really compare, okay, how is my smile in this picture? How is this person's gaze in this picture? You really start to study the things that you like about each picture, and at the end, you select your 10 favorites. Well, I want you to choose a time to pin on your Pinterest board for. So decide on either an amount of time you're gonna spend. So decide, okay, I'm gonna spend this weekend looking at all the pictures that I want. But then you commit to that time frame. Or you simply can say, okay, I've already had this board for however long, I'm gonna choose 10 images that I love. I'm gonna choose my favorite 10 images. This is super important because it'll help you not stay in a space of being procrastinator and being just stuck, completely stuck, and just taken down the rabbit hole of all these inspirational pictures, because now we're more bombarded with all these design pictures than ever, right? You go on Instagram and you can get sucked in looking at interior design images of things you love, and before you know it, hours have gone by and you still did not make a decision on your room, and you still have not moved forward. So be very, very strict with how much time you choose pictures for and how many pictures you're choosing, and just go with it. Trust your gut, you know? This is also something I talk to my clients a lot, and this is mainly what we go very deep into the academy is trust your intuition. Your heart knows what it wants. You want a red front door? Go for it. Why are you debating on that so much? You want a purple glitter wallpaper? Go for it. Why are you debating on that so much? Let's go for it. Let's make it happen. And then compromise on other things that you might have to compromise because of a partner, different styles, maybe money, maybe space. Who knows? There's plenty to compromise about, but choose a couple of things that are non-negotiables for you, things that you just feel so alive with imagining in your space. So that's tip number 2. Select a few pictures from your Pinterest boards and just go with that. Don't even look at any more. That's like you choose somebody you love and that's it. There's no more going on a dating app. Choose the pictures you want of your space, and that's all you need to look. Now, the third step after you've been pinning all these pictures is to actually study these pictures and analyze these pictures in an objective manner. So you're gonna go through those 10, 12, 20 images, however many you want, and you're going to really neutrally observe what are elements within those pictures that are sort of in common with each other. You might start seeing a trend, right? You might start seeing, oh, okay, I really like this black metal in the faucet in this picture. And then I'm seeing that this other picture also has black lighting, black metal lighting in it, and then you might see a bedroom picture that has black hardware on it. So now that's an element that goes on your list. Okay, I really like black metal hardware because all these pictures have the same look. And then you might also look at paint colors. You might notice that all the rooms you're selecting have white walls or blue walls or red walls, whatever. What are elements that you see in all these pictures? Lines, shapes, colors, materials. Really define those common elements amongst all images, and that's your list of musts or of wants. That's your list of things you know you really, really are attracted to, and then it becomes a lot easier to put them together. So that's the number 3. Now, step number 4 is the one most people struggle with, and it's setting a budget. And this is something that's so important, you guys. I know it's hard sometimes. Most of us just sort of want to be a little impulsive about buying. Other people just don't really know how much this costs to set up a room the way they want. But what I always say to my clients is, choose an amount you're comfortable with spending right now. There's always room to add to it later on. There's always room for improvement. But as of right now, as you decide you're taking on a project for a room or for your whole home, define what that budget is for you so that you're not stressed out about it. So that you're sure and clear about how much money you have available. Because if you're working with a designer, or even if you're shopping by yourself, you're gonna have so much of a range of differences in terms of pricing. I can find a rug for someone that's $80, $90, $100, and then that same size rug with the same colors and maybe just different materials or whatever could easily cost thousands of dollars. So when you say I need an 8x10 rug, well, I need to know about how much money we can spend on that, because again, it could be $100 or it could be $5,000. So it's really important that you set a budget, and then from that, we can become creative of, okay, maybe we really want to splurge on a chandelier because that's going to be a focal space of the room. I do this all the time, by the way, where I work with clients that have limited budgets and we splurge on 1 or 2 things, and then we become very out of the box and creative with other things. I have nothing against IKEA. I personally have shopped there a ton. There's so many beautiful IKEA hacks that you can have. Leah says splurge on a lamp. Absolutely. Lamps, lighting are my favorite thing to splurge on because they make such a statement in a room. You can make a room look like $1 million with a nice, expensive lamp. But also you can splurge on, styling items. Sometimes I love to splurge on hand knobs or like door knobs or door hardware, right? I love doing that. You can splurge on mirrors or splurge on big pieces of art that make a big statement. Invest in pieces that are neutral pieces that you can use over and over and over, and that you can even change the whole style of the room to the season or to the theme that you're wanting to create. But if you have key pieces that are neutral, you can get so far with that. Pillows are a good thing to be able to change around. So I personally don't love spending hundreds of dollars on a pillow or 2 because I get tired of pillows very easily. I want to be able to change the color and the covers of them, so I might spend a little bit more money on the insert, right? Maybe like a nice feather insert, but then the covers change and then they're not so expensive. So that's just sort of a quick budgeting tip. But definitely sit down, be honest with yourself, be clear with yourself, and then always know that there's room for improvement. You could buy, you could start with just a few pieces for the room. I do this all the time with my clients as well, where they might be, you know, they might say, I have $5,000 for this room, but I only have $2,000 available right now. Can we still design the whole space and select all the pieces we need for it, but I'm gonna buy them at my own pace? Yes, that's a great way that I work with my clients, right? We create the whole vision and we select each and every piece of the room, everywhere from paint color, curtains, rugs, chandeliers, to the little candles on the table, the flowers, the vases, all the little details, the hand towels in a bathroom. But then you can go at your own pace and buy these things, because now you have the style, the color, the texture, the dimensions of the pieces. So it's a lot easier to say, okay, I found this online and it's $500 for this bench, but because I'm sharing with you exactly what those details are, or because you've studied your own Pinterest board very well, you know that the next time you go to Home Goods and you see a bench that looks just like that, you don't question, is this what's gonna work anymore? You know right away that that is a piece that will fit. So super, super practical to make sure you're moving forward in action, from dreaming to action, so your space can actually be transformed like you want. Step number 5 is hire a designer. Get support. I cannot tell you how many times I hear my clients say, I wish I would have done this sooner. I wish I would have hired you sooner. Why? Because that saves you time, it saves you stress, it saves you money. Most people are afraid of hiring a designer because there's myths involved in that. A lot of people think it's expensive, or a lot of people think that a designer is going to come in and sort of impose their own style onto them and be all trendy and fashionable, or that they're going to spend $5,000 on a tiny little coffee table. And these are all misconceptions about the field that are absolutely not true. So hiring a designer helps you have a clarity of the project from the very beginning. It helps you also keep your project within that budget that you're selecting. There's a lot of very expensive mistakes that people make when they're on their own, when they're not having the support. And then the other part of hiring a designer is that you get to be accountable for your beginning to your end. When I work with my clients, I make sure that I'm there all the way through, from the very beginning questions, the issues they might have in deciding. Sometimes they might go around one item that they're not sure about over and over, and that's my job to make sure I help you clarify without so much emotion why you need that piece and why that piece works or why it doesn't. And then from that, we make sure that you're getting the job done at the very end. Sometimes I go to even the extremes of doing things myself when it's local clients or even out of state, and I might just visit people that are in other places, and I'll just go and literally fly to style their rooms myself or help with whatever issues they might be having. But for the most part, my work is remote, and I have seen my clients be able to have go from having these places, these rooms and spaces that feel so disconnected and that feel so just not themselves, to seeing the magic of a fully transformed rooms. And I'm not exaggerating, it changes their lives. I hear this all the time. I hear people, wondering why they've not done this before, because they're able to be more productive at work. They save time getting ready in the morning when they can find everything that they need, because we've designated a space for all the things they need in the morning. The kids are happy. They play with toys that they never even cared about before, because these items are now displayed in a way that they're welcoming, that they're encouraging kids to be imaginative. I mean, the testimonials are endless, and the reasons people love spaces and homes and rooms put together are so many. It's not just a vain thing. And then one of the things I always say is that also, when you hire a designer to help you with these things, you're able to get more resourceful and creative. Sometimes there's clients, especially women I work with in my academy, who come in thinking that they're not creative at all, thinking that they don't know how to decorate, that they don't know how to select certain things, that they just give up before they even start. And then over time, after being a part of the program, after training with the videos, after having these one-on-one sessions and looking at the space and learning to arrange furniture, learning to select styling pieces, learning to care about how the space feels in their heart, and to trust how their body either accepts the space or rejects the space, that is incredible. It's the most incredible feeling to watch them make design choices on their own and look amazing. I have someone in California right now who is like gone completely to the other extreme, where initially she did not even know how to buy a single pillow or a candle. She was always in the extreme of either not buying anything because she would freeze and not know what to get, to going to the other end of just shopping for anything and spending way too much on things that when she came home would not even look good together. But instead, she's taken the time to tune into herself, tune into her intentions. What does she want? What kind of a space she wants to create for her husband who's in recovery? What kind of space does she want to create for her family who's visiting from out of the country? So that took her to painting her bathroom, painting her kitchen. She changed the hardware knobs. She basically redid this apartment without major remodeling and without a ton of money, but she knew exactly what she wanted and she knew exactly what she loved from all those Instagram and Pinterest pictures she had, and she's done a fantastic job. So getting help and mentorship helps you create the style you want, and it helps you have your home truly become a reflection of who you are. I say this all the time to my clients: your home is not there to tell my story or to show my style or my design style. This home, your home, is meant to tell your own story, and the story that you're also currently co-writing, and the story of the life that you are creating. And that's what these sacred spaces do. And then the last part of making your design vision a reality is, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and to ask for help. A lot of times, myself included, I go through the issue of I can't find someone to do what I want, right? Sometimes it's because my team is busy doing other projects. Sometimes it's because by the time I explain to someone what it is that I want, I might as well just do it myself. That happens all the time, right? Or other times it's because there's some real satisfaction and sort of a sense of belonging when you get your hands dirty and just tackle a project on your own. So I'm all about do-it-yourself projects, and it's one of the questions I ask my clients all the time when they hire me, no matter what their budget is. Are you willing to do projects on your own? Are you open to do-it-yourself projects? And most of the time people are a little skeptical, but they always, for the most part, say yes. And a lot of times I'll coach them through it in presence, or other times just through digital communication or whatever. But don't be afraid to do it. There's tons of resources out there pretty much about how to do anything. The only thing I don't mess with is electrical, although I've been tempted, but I do not, and plumbing. Those are things that you want to definitely hire a professional for because the risk is just too high. But other than that, look it up. There's so many resources to have those shiplap walls you so want, to retire your backsplashes, to paint your cabinets, to hang pictures, to build furniture out of pallets. all kinds of tutorials on things. And something I also really recommend, especially in this time of the world, is to connect to your community. People are lonely. People are thirsty for company. People are thirsty for support, for touch, for conversation, for just hanging out. So invite a couple of friends and have a painting party at your house. Decide to just paint your old dining table and have a few girlfriends hang out, have some tea or some wine and some appetizers, and do it. Why not? Do it together. I just had the gift of doing this with my friend and client, and it was so much fun. We spent 5 hours building shelves, painting, measuring, laughing, cursing. We made tons of mistakes. Guess what? You make a hole in the wrong part of the wall, you patch it up, you paint over it, and you start all over again. It's not the end of the world. It's just a wall. So it's important to recognize that we are also in a time where we're needed to be flexible and adaptable and to become creative and out of the box thinkers. And so much of these projects really get us to do that. We think that we are stuck in our mindset with the big picture of a lot of things, but really we realize if you start paying attention, you might realize all these little projects that really should be no big deal sometimes keep you stuck more than necessary. Like I've said before, most of the time, I want to even say every time, my clients wonder why they didn't take care of their rooms before, why they didn't update their space and decorate their space before, because they just feel so good. So that's what I have to share with you guys as far as making your design vision a reality. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to message me or email me. If you're interested in becoming a part of my transformational program, my signature program, Sacred Interiors Academy, I'm going to put the information down on the comments. And this is a space where we dive deep into a transformation of you becoming really clear with the intentions you want to create for yourself, for your life, and that you want to use your home as your temple, that you want to decorate your home as your temple to manifest those intentions and to just pour your heart and your devotion into your life in a way that you're actively participating and mindfully decorating is a wonderful way to get there. Not to mention, there's a lot of deep Kundalini related work that we do in the Academy as well. There's energy mapping of your space where we plot all 9 energy centers of your space and we see where in your life are you stuck and how does that relate to your physical space. So a lot of times we'll see that if you're struggling financially and your prosperity is not there, you're stuck in that, or is like money is just not flowing in, you'll notice that the prosperity room in your home is the one that you have clutter, is the one where you have old stuff that you've not seen for years, or something's broken in there that needs to be fixed and you've been avoiding it. There's always a correlation with your intention, your energy, and your physical space. So we go all into that and much more in the Academy. I am opening for enrollments this week, so we are ready to go with this 8-week transformational program. You get to work one-on-one with me. You get to have your rooms designed with me. You get to learn how to do it yourself, but I also do a big part of it for you and teach you why I'm doing it. So it's also a great opportunity for those of you who are thinking about having your own design business. I've been hearing a lot from people who have been wondering how to even start to have their own decorating or interior design business if they're not professional interior designers. And my answer is there is a way, and you can start right here. If we start with this transformational program, it's a wonderful opportunity for you to get yourself in that space and really know, is this what you want to do for other women? And I would love to see more and more people serve women in this way, because we so need our homes to be a true, peaceful, sacred space. The world really needs us to start cultivating more peace, and it all starts at home. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next Tuesday with another training, and I'll leave all the information I shared about the Academy and about the design packages that I also offer all below. As part of my design firm, I also offer 30-minute consultations, and they're free. So if you have any questions, you get a chance to just pick my brain about anything that you need help with in the room. We do it all through Zoom, and you get to show me your ideas, and you get to show me your space, and I get to say yes or no and why to whatever you have selected so far. So have a beautiful day. I will see some of you soon in my support group. And other than that, I'll see you next week. Sat Nam.